Currently, I'm stepping on stage. It's my chance. It's my opportunity. You guys, do I sound like a broken record? If you answered yes, that's what I aim to be. It's consistency. It's the repetition. The person you are in public is who you are in private. What you practice in private is who you are in public. So if I'm a broken record and I'm constantly repeating these mantras, and I'm trying to instill them into I'm trying to imbue my soul with these values. Look, if I shout loud enough, maybe I'll be able to hear myself. A lot of times I speak. A lot of times I think. But how many of these thoughts get through? How many of these actions, how much of the imaginary makes it into reality? I aim to bring more into reality. So I practice purposeful speech. So I practice intentional action. What I'm doing here, I'm trying to set myself up. I'm trying to build the habits. This podcast, as I said last episode, this podcast, it's my baby. But it's a promise to myself. It's a test of my resolve. I find it. Look, right now I'm actually a day ahead in my upload. It's Sunday, but I already got my Sunday post queued for 12. I said 2 episodes ago. Actually, no, that part didn't make it into the episode because I didn't record. I forgot to press the record button. LOL. But I have to be a week ahead in my uploads. I have to be. I can't do this. I can't do this. Oh, every day I'll do a pod. Every day I'll do a pod. I'll record a pod and then I'll post a pod. What happens to the day that I want to do more? What happens to the day when I say, yo, I actually want to alter this. This one's a different kind of format. I need more editing time, or I want something more grand, or maybe I want a lead up to it. Maybe this is a 2-parter. Maybe just anything. The dream of more. And if I'm a week ahead and I upload once myself, and then the auto post upload, I got 2 posts a day. Now that episode 506. Now that I keep referencing episode 506 because that moment was pivotal to me. That moment was my everything. When I said 506, it was me grasping at a number. But in my heart of hearts, I'm certain, so that's my milestone. Look, life can only matter as much as you make it. Anything can only matter as much as you make it. You are the one who sets the value of anything, just like you're the one who gives yourself grace. Just like how you're the one who gives yourself wrath. Things can only have as much value as you assign. So this is my baby. This is a part of my soul, and where my soul resides, it resides in the clouds. It resides as a dream, as a thought, as the yearning for more. I have a problem sometimes. I'm going to be honest with you. I have a problem. When I see anything in front of me, when I see a project. Look, I got a project right now. I'm currently on the way back to accept a washer dryer at my mother's house. The washer broke. Did a little fix. It ain't work. Go get a new one. I would go on my side. It's old. It's 8 years. It lasted. Okay, it did its job. Look, hear ye, hear ye. Hear ye, hear ye. Last year, about was it last year? Well, I guess I technically can't say it was last year. It was okay. It was 2 years ago, but it was December, and December goes into January, so it was last year. December 3rd, I got a 3D printer. The printing person, the peculiar printer. I'm thinking of the episode name, the title. But we'll see. I mean, you'll definitely see. You clicked on the episode. You'll definitely see. You clicked on the episode. So I bought this printer, and I want you to keep in mind, I had. Oh, I'm so excited to say this part now. Ooh, I got a story. But we'll get there. And I'm not going to say your name, but you know who you are. You know I have contempt for you. You know I shame you because you're a shameful man. Deplorable. Wretched. You are one of the only people in this life that I have contempt for. And it's because of the way you choose to live your life, not as your own, but you live as a bitch. Yeah. It's fun using my words and, being poetical with it, but laddie, let me tell you one thing. Laddie, you a wee man. You a wee man. There's a very, 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 very large car crash. A very, very, very large pileup I see here. I see. It's on the opposite side of me. Thank heavens. But you know what this means with how long I'm seeing this and how much of it's down the entire stretch of the highway. It's down this entire time. I drove for 30 minutes. All the cars have been stopped. Someone messed up everyone's day. Probably not coming back on the highway. But let's get back to it. So I bought this 3D printer, and I got this 3D printer when I quit my job. I quit my job at a place that I couldn't stand. That took my soul from me. That took my voice. When you're in an environment where when you speak as much as you want, but it's never heard, at some point you feel what's the point in speaking? When you're shut down, when you're disregarded, when you are purposefully made to feel lesser. And that was the environment, and they took my voice, and my voice is powerful. It's got a show right now. I lost it. I lost my smile. I even made a playlist, my lost smile. I was depressed. That was the first sad playlist I ever made in my life. I didn't know life could be like this. I was going psycho. I was genuinely having psychotic breaks. I'd wake up. First of all, I didn't want to. Snooze. Oh gosh. Okay, now I gotta get up. No breakfast. I didn't have the will. I didn't have the will to wake up a bit earlier, and there was nothing open in the morning, so I had to. It was a 5 a.m.er. I had to be there for 6. So I had to wake up for about 5:15. That's when I was waking up, because I couldn't stand that. But I'd get up. I'd get up, I'm going to the job, and I'm getting in this car, and I'm begging myself, I'm pleading with myself, don't go. Please don't go there and have them defile your sanity. Have them strip away your power. To go to a place where you feel so powerless. And it's not in the physical sense. Because I'm a strong man. I'm a strong soul. The work has never been the issue. I can get the job done. The work, when you strive for knowledge, when you strive for the best, when you strive for greatness, the work becomes easy as a byproduct. But what doesn't become easy is the mental games that they try to play with you that you must endure. The race is not for the swift nor the bold, but for who can endure. Let me say that again. The race is not for the swift nor the bold, but for who can endure. The rabbit and the hare. It's not for the swift, it's not for the bold, it's for who can persevere. What's the quote? What's the saying? All men are I don't know. All men are strong and in easy times, but it's when you're all men can have power. All men can have power when not. I don't know. I can't remember. I can't remember. I remember all the other ones because I make them. If I make it, I'll remember it. And other ones that I don't make, I don't know. It helped me make another one. Like it helped me make something. Like, but I don't know. It'll come back to me. So I couldn't stand that place. I couldn't stand it there. I'm dreading the going. I'm thinking of going home, and I'll have this smile. I remember I would smile. Let me just give a story. Let me just tell the environment I was in. That's the direct byproduct of how we're here now. That's the direct product, not byproduct. It's the direct product of how I made it here now. When I had everything stripped away from me, when I felt so small and minuscule, insignificant, abysmal. When I felt this way, I left, I got my soul back. I reclaimed it. And you know what it felt like? First of all, it was I have it written down. I have it written down, the exact words that I used to describe the feeling. I had to use a thesaurus. I had to go on and find some synonyms. Because I said no word in my arsenal currently. It's euphoric, yes, but there's something else. It's a rapturous euphoria. A rapturous euphoria. Ugh. It touched my soul. When I was there, they didn't want me there. They told me, okay. Let me say a story. I just told this story yesterday. When we would do the mechanic work. We'd do it in the factory, and there was this conveyor. There were these conveyors, right? And there are these motors, and there are these muffins, and then I'm just saying things. I'm just saying things. You know what there was? There were people, there were jobs. All right. So we're doing the weekly job. It was weekend. We're doing a weekly job. PM, preventative maintenance. We go ahead and take down something from the washer, the pan washer. We take down one of the motors, big motors. Me and two next guys. Me, shift leader, and just other maintenance. But I'm technically co-op apprentice. So yeah, man. So we take this down, we take it back to the maintenance room. Bada bing, bada boom, we're working on a ting. And I say we, but it wasn't we, it was them, because the entire time they only made me hand the tools. All right, that's fine. And then they would speak in their own language, or speaking in Hindi. So then they're speaking in Hindi, and obviously I can't understand, LOL. But they're doing it anyways, and this is a place I want you to know that preaches one voice. They have a slogan. I'm not gonna say the slogan, but they have a slogan that says one voice, one team, one people, one voice, because it's such a problem there where a culture will go ahead and leave out. We'll divide. They'll speak their own language and block out anyone else. So I say, oh, okay. So I'm biding my time. I'm just doing what I gotta do. Okay, hand a wrench there. Go ahead and maybe lift the motor there. Get a cart there. Get some grease there. So, and the next two guys I got hired with, they come. My shift leader now, he's speaking to him. And when he's speaking to him, obviously I don't know what they're saying, but he's speaking to him saying, and then the next little one, the next apprentice, he looks at me and he says, okay, let's go. He looks at me, he said, let's go. I said, what? He said, the leader just gave us a job. He just said we gotta do we gotta do the PMs on conveyor. We gotta grease the conveyors. Like, we gotta go do conveyors 56 to 75 in L block, in Q block, in G block, and he's like, oh, and I said, oh, yeah, because what confused me was if I'm right here and we're a foot away from each other, and we've been the entire time, and then the next guy comes and you speak a different language and you tell him a job that we're both gonna do, and then this guy who's got the same position as me, and he also knows less than me, mind you, because when we first started, everyone, we're going through, oh, what work experience do you have? I said, oh, I did construction, like I did carpentry, I did fences, I made residential fences last summer. Before that, I do electrical engineering. Before that I was automotive, but right, and now I'm a printing person. Right now I'm a printing person, but I guess that's a little bit more. So, and I've been doing this, and I took it in recently. I got 6 years of trade experience under my belt. I started in high school when I was 16. I started in high school when I was 16. I started working. I was at an auto shop. That was for my co-op. But my job that I would go to after, I'd finish co-op and go to the job after. And I'd work at this shoe store. But then, after that, then I told you I did the electrical engineering, and I'm doing this electrical engineering, and it's what I got under my belt. And then in the summer, while I'm doing electrical engineering, I'm building fences, and I'm doing the whole thing. And it's me and a guy, AJ. We'll get to you, AJ. We'll get to you. You are a blessed man. The more you reach, the more you get. Opportunity strikes whenever you answer the call and you acknowledge this world, the world that you are in. You live in a very real world. Opportunities are abundant and plentiful. Here for your very joy. The chances are plentiful. Believe you me. It's only once you see them and you accept them that they can become more. I always talk about this dream of more. I love the dream of more, because when you dream for more, then less. What's that noise? I love to dream of more, because when you dream for more and you keep dreaming more and more and more and you work harder and harder and harder, then when you had that issue, the first dream, it seemed small, it seemed easy, it seemed obtainable. Now that's not a dream. What you have is reality. What you have is a part of you. I say, the saying, I fake it till you make it, I would say that. I used to say that, and I believed it. Because when I was working a job like that, where I couldn't even stomach going in, where I couldn't look at the people because of the dissatisfaction and how they would look at me. The eyes that they had as soon as you walk into a place. First of all, I'm the only black guy. First of all, I'm the only black guy in the entire company, and that's not like my department. In the entire company, you got two. You got me and the guy who left 2 weeks ago. You got two. Couldn't stomach it, brother, man. I couldn't stomach it. So, but I'd fake it. I'd put on that smile and I'd say, oh, okay, I'd take what I need. The experience, I didn't leave immediately because I knew I could leave immediately. I knew I hated it, but I knew what I wanted from it. I knew what I had to endure in order to become the man that I want to be. In order to take away and acquire all that I need, all that I want, all that I must, I knew what I had to do. I wanted the experience. I wanted it on my resume too. It would boost my resume. I said, okay, a year of this, a little bit of that. Get hands-on experience. Here's just try. Just try. So I stuck through. I thugged it out. And when you're in a place where even someone who objectively knows less than you, who does less than you, who contributes just less overall, but still to be regarded as nothing, to be an insolent fool in their eyes. The looks they would give me, to feel truly looked down upon, to truly, when you go into a room and you can see you don't belong, and you could hear that you don't belong, and they tell you that you don't belong, but you say that I belong. When you force yourself, you could only do as much as you could only bite off as much as you can chew. And I'm chewing, and it's tough, and it's rough, and it's raw. It's just tough. It's tough and chewy, but I'm chewing anyway because I chose to. I know what I had to do. I know what I had to do. And when you go in every single day, there's less and less positive. Oh, they don't give promotion to people like you. Oh, even a guy who worked there. Shout out to the guy. But but yeah. I don't. He worked there for, what was it, 8 years. He got beaten by someone who worked there for a year, for a leader position, for a shift leader. He got beaten by a person who worked there for a year because of prejudice. When you hear that you can't advance in the ladder just because, not because of your technical skill or your social, but purely, it's not your birthright. It's you weren't meant for this. You can't. What do you mean I can't? There's no I can't. It's a choice. It's a choice. It's a choice. Shout out to Jay. taken from us too early. Shout out to Jay, the man that I knew for a year at that place. Every single day I'd come in, and I was working 12-hour shifts. I was doing 5 to 5. I was doing 5 to 5. And the thing is, I was doing 6 to 6, 5 to 5. It was 12 hours. So then, you do the 5 to 5. Okay, all right. But then it was a continentaler. It was a continental. So then with a continental, you work 2 weeks. No, yeah. Well, this was okay. Well, this technically was on part of it. Well, you work 2 weeks. You work 2 weeks on day shift, so 5 a.m. to 5 p.m. Or, yeah, and then 2 weeks after that, then you do the 5 p.m. to 5 a.m. So okay, 2 week swap. But then you also had in combination a two day on, a 3 day off. No, a 2 day on, 2 day off. 3 day on, 3 day off. So every other Sunday you're working long week. Every other Sunday you're working Friday to Sunday. And then every 2 weeks your schedule swaps. All right. All right, I guess. Literally, all right, I guess. This is what we're doing. But you persevere, and you're here for 12 hours in a day. Mama! My mother is not home. But I'm doing this for 12 hours a day. I'm changing. I did it though, and I showed up. I showed up and I smiled. Do you know why I smiled? Even though that smile, I noticed. That smile wasn't mine anymore. It wasn't my smile. I smiled just because, just to try to not even trick myself, but as determined as I am, I refuse to let them win. But when I stop smiling and everyone there who's not a part of the special group, everyone there who's not part of the special clique, look, when me and the two other guys got hired and we're doing the orientation and the boss, the mechanic boss, he's over here going around teaching us a little bit of this, teaching a little bit of that. Oh, here's the silo here. Oh, here's the sugar, here's the flour. This is what we do. And then that's connected to your PID and your PID system. And your PID system that you have this line and a tree line. And I'm asking a question and I say, this one flour, this one sugar, which, and there are two flour, and this flour go to this department, but this flour go to a different one. But because then you need different flour at a different rate, at a different temperature to be sifted, and because this one require a lot more flour than that one, so you just kind of, I say, blah, blah, me your ass. So, I ask my questions, and the next ones are asking their questions, and whatever. It's what it is. And when we go back to the shop, he's talking to the next two guys and saying, "Oh, the best way to know and diagnose a problem. The best way to fix a problem is to know how the machine runs normally, how it operates, how it should be." If you know what it should be, how it should work, then you can do the process, do the process, and backtrack, trace it, logic it out. So he tells the next guy, he said, "Oh, you go to You go to this to the finger depositor. And the next guy, oh, you go to the cup the nester. Then you go ahead and go to the packer, and from the packer you see the line, and then later you guys make your way through the lines and see how all the machines work, and then we'll like come back and we'll quiz you on it. It's just supposed to be observed. It's just supposed to be observed so you can fix it later. Know what sounds it makes. Know what's adorable. And he tells the next guy, oh, you go to M5, and you go to M3, and you go to cup to that. So it's like, okay. But he didn't tell me to go anywhere. And I said, and I thought, that was because they had no experience, and I had experience. Not with these specific machines, but more so I had experience overall. Like I had hands on. I had trade. I had work. I had a semblance of work. They only came from school. They never even they didn't. I had to teach them what a wrench was. I had to teach them how a ratchet clicked. Well, I remember when we were doing hammer, we got the hammer drill. I gotta teach the tech. We're doing sawzall. They don't even know the names of the tools. I'm like, this is a saw. The sawzall, reciprocating saw. You have your drill and your impact different from your drill, and with the technique on if you want to do holes and how the bolt turns. I damn near had to teach them righty tighty lefty loosey. Like, nope, other way. You know how many times I said that during my 1 year? Nope, other way, as I'm watching, and because they were doing more jobs than me, because they were in favor. They were of the right kind. They were of the right kind. But the guy didn't give me anything. And Alex, fucking one great guy, great guy. He got out of that place. W Mans. He looks at him and asks. He said, "Wait, shift lead. Why?" And Alex is just a know another mechanic. And he said, "Why didn't you?" Why didn't you give Trey? Why didn't you give Trey anything? Why didn't you tell Trey to go anywhere? And the ship lead looks at him and looks at me and looks at him and the other, and he said, "Oh, this guy's maintenance? I thought he was a cleaner." Why would you think that? Why would you think that? Why would you say that? Why would you say that? And Alex is he's he's not one of the people in favor. He's a white man. He's a white man. Good soul though. Good soul. And he even told me, he said, I notice people treat you differently here. And they treat differently, but they treat you really differently. And I'm like, oh, you notice that? You notice that? And I notice it, obviously, because I'm me. But the fact that you notice it is very telling. And the fact that you can also tell that it's to a different degree is astonishing. That's ridiculous. But okay. Okay. And he asked, and the guy said, I thought he was a cleaner. Mind you, I don't even fully blame him. I was set up to fail. I was destined. Do you know why that is? Because if you looked at me and you looked at the other two, I was the black sheep, not just literally in with my dark black skin, but even with the clothes that I wore, because you'd have to wear a coat. You'd wear a coat on the floor. And because we didn't have our uniforms yet, so we have to wear these throw-ons, and there are three. There's white, a dark navy blue, and like a yellow, something with like a yellow / red / there was another color. There was a little something else. So maintenance, the color of maintenance is blue. Everyone else is usually white. So then us, since we don't have our uniform, we our default chose the dark blue, because that's the maintenance color. That's closest to the maintenance color when we would actually have our outfit. So everyone, me and the other two, we rock our dark blue, but I'm being told by next guy, by next manager guy in the office, and this is different. There are levels to this. There were levels to, because you had the leader there for the maintenance, but then you also had the leader for the line, but then you also had the leader for the office, and you had the office leader who had the site lead, the plant leader who had the jigga bigger, and the jigger bigger was connected to the alternator, and the alternator was connected to the crankshaft pulley system, and that pulley system was actually connected to a pulse width modulation half bridge rectifier. Now that half bridge like, you see how I was just speaking, and that's what their chain of command is, because they don't know what they're doing. That's fine. That's fine. So a guy in the office said he saw me. He saw me wearing this dark blue, and it's the first week, and he tells me, no, don't wear that dark blue. He said, why are you wearing the dark blue? I said, I'm wearing the dark because I'm maintenance. He said, wear white. I'm like, what? White, but maintenance is dark blue. We all the other guys are wearing dark blue. Like, why would I? And he's like, no, you have to swap. I said, I have to swap? He said, yes, you have to swap. Why can't I? I'm maintenance too. He's like, by technicality, he said, by technicality, the white outfits are for people that work here. And then the dark blue coats, but the coats, like, it's the coats specifically because they're for visitors. The dark blue coats are for contractors, third party people that we call in. So by nature, you're not supposed, you should be wearing white. But I said, yeah, okay, yeah. But the thing is, I don't have the outfit yet. They don't know me, and also the other two are also wearing the dark blue. And also the dark blue is the color of the of maintenance. So why would I not just wear the dark blue for now? Why would I wear the white? And and he said, I don't care. He said, I don't care. and he made me change. So now so what, during that entire story that I was telling you about, oh, we're going through here, and he's assigning people to watch it. I was wearing a white outfit. I was wearing a white lab coat. Everyone else is in dark blue. So when he said, I thought you were the cleaner, I said, okay, well, the cleaner was, you said that one to, you said that one, ooh, to spite me, to prod me, to poke me. You said that one to belittle me. Ooh, but I can understand why you didn't think I was one of you, because I was set up. And as I said, that was the first week, and when you speak, every single thing I had a problem with, everything I had to fight for it. Even my paycheck, my tools to work. I didn't get my tools until 3 months in. I'm asked the guy. The other two got their tools first day. The other two got their tools first day. Me, I had to wait 3 months. I had to borrow the others' tools. I had to borrow the others' tools. I didn't have a toolbox 3 months. The guy's like, oh, it'll be here. It'll be here by a month. Oh, no one ordered it. He called. He's like, oh, this girl was supposed to order it. This girl was supposed to order it. Let me call her right now. Let me text her right now. He calls, text. What? The girl said, I'm at a different location. I don't even work there. I'm HR. Why would I be ordering tools for maintenance? I'm not even at that location. He's like, oh, by next month comes. He said, oh, no one ordered it. I have to beg and plead for my tools so I can do my job that I was hired for. I have to beg and plead for my tools so I can do the job that I was hired for. So I have to Okay. Okay. That's the theme. That's the theme. Down to my paycheck. They say, oh, we can't get your number in the system. I had to wait. I had to wait an additional 2 weeks. Had to wait an additional 2 weeks from anyone else just to get liquid pay. And then they didn't even give me both the pay at once. They gave me half of the pay. They gave me half of the pay. They gave me half of the pay because they said we don't want to give you too much pay at once. I said, oh, how'd that work? But I worked the full time, and you're now giving me the pay for the time that I worked, but also for the time that you were late. But they say, yeah, but we just don't want to give it to you. We just don't want you to have that much money at once. Like, what would you do with it? You can't handle that. What does that mean? I worked for it, no? I tried, no? I showed up, no? And I do the jobs and I teach and I have to teach them how to do. I have to teach. As soon as I was hired, now I have to teach everyone else too, because now they don't know, but I do know, and everyone else knows that I know. They know that I know. So they just, hey, Trey, teach them. But you're not really teaching them because they have seniority over you, even though you've been hired at the same time. Oh, okay. I see what Tagwan. I see what Tagwan. I tried. So at some point I lost my voice. At some point I lost my voice, but I found it back again. I found my voice at a later date, and I reclaimed it. I'm looking at my print right now. I'm printing something for Leon. I'm printing the ghost of Utah. It's a mask. This world is not just, but I will make it so. Last episode, I said I sacrificed my left arm for evil. I sacrificed my left arm for evil in a way because I know what it feels like to be beaten down relentlessly, to be persecuted, to be crucified consistently for nothing more than the color of your skin, the looks that they would give me, the contempt in their eyes. Some had hatred, some disgust. But one was always the same. One look was always prevalent. No matter what situation I was, no matter if I was winning, no matter if I was losing, if I was eating, if I was breathing, the look that they had in their eyes. Do you know what it feels like, that look? That it's so hard to describe. Unless you've experienced, it's so hard to describe. But that look, because it's universal. So it's a specific look. If one person gave you the look, oh, that's you probably describe it. That's a look. But when it's everywhere, and there are other looks on top of that. There are other emotions that you feel on top of those. Then that look, that feeling, it becomes the baseline, and everything else is added on top. Oh, okay, I see a bit of hatred. Oh, I see a bit of doubt. Oh, I see, like, that you'd speak and they wouldn't believe you, even though they're not even mechanics. They believe they know more than you. You learned everything about this. You know you fixed the same issue 35 times today. And they're telling, no, give me the wrench. They never even held the wrench. They've never held a wrench in their entire life, and they don't even know what way to twist. And I'm like, why are you taking the wrench? Do you want the wrench? Sure, take it. Take it. You know more than me. Obvious. Everyone knows more than me. If this is a character, if this is a role that I must play, because why am I fighting with you? Why am I arguing with you? You want to restrict me. And why am I fighting? Why am I fighting a restriction? I'll be restricted because I know I have a grand scheme. I know what I must do, and I know that doesn't entail fighting with you, cussing you. I know what I need. I want the experience. I want to know what hell is like, so every day on earth feels like heaven. Uh, uh, I touched hell and talked to Satan. I talked to Satan himself, and my supervisor's name started with an S, and he was a wretched man. He was pushed. Nothing you say was good enough for him. Nothing you say. It was yes. He wanted yes, no matter what. I remember I told him I had a wedding coming up. I was like, oh, I'm actually going. I didn't start studying for that for that new assignment for the there was testing, there was for that new license. It was for refrigeration. Oh, I didn't start studying for that yet. I didn't start studying for that. Why? I was like, because this week I'm going to my brother's wedding. I'm the best man. And he said, what are you best at? Why are you going? Why would you do that? He said, you should study. You should. I said, oh. He said, what do you do in your life? I said, I mean, and I had my lunch, and he's like, don't say you cook. I know your mother cooked that. And I said, no, I cooked it. No, I cooked. I brought my lunch. I packed my lunch. I'm being disrespected already. I'm being flagrantly disrespected. For what reason? What does this serve? What we could have a conversation. It could be pleasant. You choose to do so. He's asking me, oh, what holds you back? What's holding you back from so? What do you do? He said, don't say the cooking. I said, let's see. I mean, I edit. I roller skate. I've been skateboarding. I've been getting into that hobby. It's like these are fun activities. You don't need to do that. It doesn't matter in your life. I'm like, let's see. I mean, I, there's not much. There wasn't much time to do other things when you work that 12-hour shift, and then you also in combination with the continental one, and you're working 2 days on, 2 days off. You getting half of your weekends gonna have, and then you're also not then swapping to the night shift every 2 weeks. So I'm the night shift, so I'm the day shift. But it gets done. But it gets done. What was I working on at that time? What was I aspiring to be? What I was aspiring to be free. I was aspiring to be free of that place. To go to a place that I actually enjoyed. And mind you, I really did not need to stay, but I said, oh, there there's certain things that you'll find here that you will take. Apart from a bashing that compares to no other. I know that in this world, what I aspire to do and what I aspire to be. So with grace and humility, I will brave the day. And I did it all the way until I couldn't, until I woke up and I said, you know what though? I'm too close. I'm too close to taking my own. I'm too close to take my own. Brother, man. I felt devoid of hope. I felt lost. I felt so small. I've never felt so small in my entire life, and I vowed from the day that I left, from when it truly hit me that I don't have to go back. I vowed I vowed to never live my life like that again, to never feel as small as I did, to never be in a position like that where I couldn't even, I couldn't, people didn't value, where I couldn't value myself. Where I started to question myself. I started to question, are you really that good? Are you really great? Are you really educated? Are you really capable? And when they do things to purposefully set you up to fail. I remember uh oh my days. Oh my days. There was there's this machine. You got to clean the blade. You like once a shift, once a shift, you go ahead and you clean the blade. You change the blade and you clean the blade. Now I know how to change the blade, but at this time they just told they did it. They told me to clean it. They're like, try to clean those two blades. I said, okay. Okay. All right. I go ahead and do what I gotta do. Go to the maintenance room. Go clean the blades. And we only maintenance have access to this room. It's a key. So now only maintenance have access to this room. It's a and I go in. I do my little thing. Clean. And something in me told me. It told me, because over there you were only as good as your pictures. You were only as valuable as your pictures. If the picture didn't exist, you essentially didn't do it. And this isn't even a thing we took pictures for, because everyone wants to cover their own ass there, because no one knows what they're doing. They're incompetent. They they don't know. Management doesn't know what they're doing. So everyone's trying to cover their own ass, because at any point you could be let go. Well, more so certain people than others. More so certain people than others. But yeah, and I cleaned these blades. I put them to the side, and I put them in the spot that they always are. And I took a photo, and I took this photo, and I just said, I've never taken a photo of me cleaning them and leaving it, but I said, right now I feel it. It's night shift. I I just feel it's like it's a spider sense. Whenever you have the urge, whenever your body tells you something, whenever your mind kind of snaps direct and you don't listen, that's your spider sense. That's your intuition. That's your consciousness. That, even though maybe you're not even actively thinking about it, passively your body has gone through this. It knows it's a routine. You've lived more life than you realize. So I got this urge, and I took the photo. 20 minutes later, I get call. I get call from the next shift manager. He says, "Where's the blade?" I said, "Oh, I cleaned it. I cleaned it and it's there." He said, no, it's not." I said, "Yeah, it is. I just cleaned it. It's only been 20 minutes. Like it's like, and we do it once a shift, so it's not like anyone would take it. Plus there are two. Plus there are two, and you low key with the call that you got, you only need one. So why so you're so it's kind of like impossible for it not to be there." And I say, "Okay, I'm on my way." I walk over. I go, and he said, "You sure?" I said, "Yes." I clean them. I put them right there. And we walk over, and lo and behold, it's not there. And I said, "Whoa." I swear. And he's looking at me, and I'm looking at him, and he's got this look. He doesn't believe me. I'm like, "How do you not believe? We do this day in and day out. We do this once a shift, and you guys specifically made me do this because cleaning is the grunt work, the work for the earth, like the grunt work. So he's looking at me, I'm looking at him, and I said, "Wait, I took a photo. I didn't even send a photo to the group chat or anything, and we have the word. But I sent, but I just had it in my phone because I felt like I may need it, and lo and behold, high and behold, I take this photo out and I show it. I say, look, see, it's clean. It's right there. And that was only 18 minutes ago. I said, didn't hear anything about it for the rest of the night. They did it on purpose. They moved the blades so they could purposefully scold me. And when I covered my own ass, they said, "Oh, okay, moved on." I didn't hear anything else about it because that's what that moment was. When you are purposefully beaten down mentally, I always say a job that's physically demanding isn't even as bad as one that's mentally demanding. Because you if it's hard physically, you go lift your heavy things, go ahead and go bed. Take yourself to bed. You wake up, your body healed up, it's rested. But a rest does not fix mental degradation. It does not. I am one episode ahead. It is 11:11 on Sunday, but this is the Monday episode. I want to be a week ahead, and yesterday I uploaded my one. I said, okay, well, anything I do right now, anything I do after this one, after I already did my one, it'll be two. So if I want to be a week ahead, anything I do from right now, I could start right now, and I can't. I said, okay. I'm 1 day ahead, and do you know the joy that brought me? Because I said one day ahead is close to 7 days ahead, and yesterday I was no days ahead. Yesterday I was no days ahead. Now I know that I have a 1 day buffer. Oh, 1 day. If I keep doing what I was doing before, instead of it be, it's the same thing. I put that same pressure on myself. I put the same pressure on myself to do an upload a day, to do one post a day. But now, but at some point, I push myself a little bit harder so I could be ahead. I could be a bit more comfortable. But I'll still hold myself to that same standard. And if I hold myself to this standard and I fluctuate, I could eventually be 2 ahead. A week and a half ahead. Imagine that. A week and a half ahead. Now, then a week and a half. What if I'm a month ahead? What if I'm a month? It's the dream. It's the concept. It's the thought of more. It's the thought of more. When you were restricted and you thought so little. When you've suffered when you've truly been persecuted and wronged. When you've been truly defiled. Everything gets a bit sweeter. When you've been to hell and go back to earth, everything seems like heaven. When you've truly experienced hell, a hell on earth that you couldn't imagine doing forever, that you couldn't even imagine doing again. I know what I want and I know what I don't want. I know that I do not need. I do what I do not want. I will not engage. I will not feed that life, that person that I was. I will do anything by any means necessary to never go back to that state again. It took everything from me. I lost my smile, the smile that I didn't know how to smile as a kid. I didn't know how. I would smile and it wouldn't feel right, so I would never smile. But people tell me, oh no, you know how to smile when the moments that you weren't trying, you were smiling the best. And that's because I was thinking about smiling too much, so I stopped thinking about smiling and I just smiled. I thought about smiling too much because I was beaten down. I didn't know how to act. I didn't know what was normal. I was in HSP. That's the homeschool program. I was in the special needs class. Because they told me my handwriting was bad. They said my handwriting was bad. I excelled at math. My English, my vocabulary always. in a class of its own, fucking a top echelon. But what I was told, my math superb, everything, I was on track for everything. But what I suck at spelling. I suck at spelling. The man that you hear right now, hear ye, hear ye. I'm terrible at spelling. I don't have many weak points in this life. People ask, what do you do? What do you do? I say it's not what I do, it's what I don't do, and it's not much. And what I don't do, I have a small list of small things I say confidently that I don't do. I don't spell. I'm not the best at spelling. I'm not the best at spelling. I'm not the worst, but I'm not the best. I'm not the best at calculus, specifically when I was in electrical. All the other math, yeah. Writing, my handwriting sucks. It looks like chicken scratch. It's chicken scratch handwriting. It gets the job done. It gets the job done. I'm not a perfect being. And I have more faults than that. I I have more faults than that. If we go back to HSP, this homeschool program, this we'll talk more about it, obviously, but that's the origin. You'll hear more about my origin story. We're only on episode 8. I'm 1 day ahead. I'm 1 day ahead, and that's one more day than yesterday. And yesterday I uploaded at about damn near at 12:50. At 12:50, it was about to turn. It was about to turn to the next day, and I started my pod on March 1st. I started on March 1st. My episodes correlate with the first of the month. I like that. I like that. And I said every day, I said I have a post every day. I said every day you have something to look forward to in this life. Every day is an attempt. Every day I try. Every day I won't. Every day it's the attempt. It's not. I'm not promising you every episode is gonna be your favorite on this planet. I'm even me. But every day I will try. I will attempt. My resolve is right here. I will dedicate my soul. Where my soul resides is in a dream, and I dream of more. They put me in HSP, and they called me a little slow boy. And when you're in this room, when you're in this special needs class with all these with these people that need more help, that they do require more help, but you don't require that same amount of help, but they treat you like you do. It almost makes you begin to think, especially at such a young age, do I? Am I the problem? Am I normal? What's going on? When I was in HSP, in grade 5, no, in grade 4, they got this portable. They got this portable system. That's like the little metal box outside. And the little metal box outside, the shed that they would have. That's where they put the HSP kids. They got one portable, and then they put HSP kids in there. Do you know it was dehumanizing? It was dehumanizing when they would say the regular class, when it would be the normal people against you, the normal people, and then there's you. The status quo, and then there's you. The status quo, and then there's you. So what do? You fake it. You fake it until you make it. And if you faked it and you made it, it was never fake. If you faked it and you made it, it was never fake. In winter it was bad. In winter it was bad. That's when you felt the brunt of it, because not only you go to the regular class in the morning, they take you after, but when they take you now and you go to HSP, when you go to the homeschool program, they take you outside. They take you outside into this metal box, and in the winter you'd have to trudge through the snow. They didn't shovel everything. It's snowing. You're trudging through the snow to be in this cold box with no air conditioning. You gotta wear the jacket, and they're giving you this slow work. They're giving you this easy work. It almost felt monotonous, and the way they look at you, the way they talk to you, they talk to you slower. They talk to you so much slower, and that's not on them. That's on me, because I didn't want to be there. I didn't feel like I need to be there, and I felt small. I felt so small. I can't. I will. I practice purposeful speech. But I quit that job, and I quit that job November. When I quit that job November, my life changed, because I felt like I had it again. To live a life for someone else is a shame. To live a life for someone else is a travesty, a tragedy that should not befall onto a soul. I quit that job, and I found this is how I'm gonna end off the pod. This is gonna be the name of the episode, A Wet Dream. You had to wait all the way to the end for this. You had to wait all the way to the end. The entire time you're wondering, where's the wet dream? Let me tell you the wet dream. Let me tell you the wet dream. Roll the fucking blood clot credits, man. I had a dream. I had a dream. It was 2 weeks. It was a week and a half after I left. I have it in my calendar. It's called Euphoria. It was a week and a half after I left. Every day my soul, I started to feel a little bit better because I didn't have to go. It started to sink in. Oh, I don't have to go anymore. I'm never going back. Oh, I chose that. Oh, that's beautiful. My life is my own. Oh. And one night I had a dream. Martin Luther King. Hear ye. One night I had a dream. And in this dream, I somehow got roped back, and I was back at the place. I was at the same place again. And because they tried to get me to come back, but I said no. I know. But in this dream I came back, and I was working a night shift. It was the same ish going on again. The exact same reasons why I left before. The exact same. This dream. I was in the maintenance room. I was doing a thing. There were 5 other guys. All these guys, they look at me. They're pointing, and they're talking a different language. I said, "Oh," I said, "I'm not doing this." I said, "I'm not doing this again. I'm not doing this again." For my own sanity, I said, I'm leaving, and I'm taking my freedom. I'm quitting again. So there was a bit of filler in there where it's like, oh, there was this next guy, the guy that I talked about earlier, who applied for the shift leader position, and he I could kind of help him because we were on the same boat, and we were both, and he ended up leaving too, and he left before me, and I'm leaving. I'm just about to leave. I get into my car. I start it up. And I put my car in drive, and I drive out of the parking lot. And as soon as I pass that border, I wake up. And when I woke up, I said, oh, what was that? Oh, I left? I can't believe it. And I kissed my teeth. I can't believe I was there again in the first place. But I noticed something. I noticed my pantaloons, my trousers, my breeches. They were soiled. I said, "Oh, I soiled myself in my sleep. I soiled myself. No way. No way." And I'm going to the bathroom, I'm getting a change, and I'm looking, I said, that color, that viscosity, that's not my britches being soiled by the means that I thought. It was a wet dream. It was a wet dream. Me leaving in this dream, me leaving again and reclaiming my soul was enough to make me explode in my britches. Could you fathom how much a soul, how much a man, how much a person, how much a soul must be restricted, how much a soul must hate, despise the position they are in, and for them to leave in this dream, there was nothing sexual. I left in this dream. I drove out. I drove my car. That's all it was. I drove out of the parking lot in this dream, and I busted. I bust. And it was a lot. It was so much I confused it. I confused it with me soiling my pants with urine, but it was semen. But it was. It was because yo, that's how much I hated that place. It was pleasurable to leave. When I left, it gave me such a profound pleasure sensation. It was stimulating. Cause that was my self-love. I love myself again. That action, that choice, it reflected even my body. My body felt it and said, "Oh, there's Johnny. There's Johnny." Look, every day new episode of Treyu's Adventures. Look, every day you have something to look forward to in this life. I'm just a guy with the same 24 hours. I'm just a guy with the same 24 hours who woke up just like you. Every day is an opportunity to be better than the person you were yesterday, and I take it with grace. I take it with humility, and I take it with pride. I'm pride. I take that opportunity with pride, because how many people have died in this life? How many people do not walk the earth today? When I stand, I carry the weight of the world on my shoulders. And I don't say this metaphorically, I say it physically. I carry the weight of the world on my shoulders because this world relies on me. It waits for me. It beckons for me. I know I'm the only one that can change it. I know when I stand, I carry the hopes and dreams of a lot. Not just of a few, but of the many. I carry the dreams and aspirations of people who are here and who have passed. Shout out to Troy. Shout out to Troy. Taken too early. He's not in this world. But I will stand for him. I will wake every day and I will rise with him on my shoulders. Every day you stand, when you stand, you don't just stand by yourself. You don't just lift your body, you lift your soul. You lift all of your dreams and ambitions. You lift everything when you stand. So when I stand taller than I could ever imagine. Because the more you dream, the more you get. The more you reach, the more you get. And I remember when I couldn't dream. I remember when I couldn't dream, and I I'm gonna dream every day. I'm gonna choose to dream every day. I'm gonna choose Chia every fucking day. This is the rambling of a man determined to be more than himself. The ramblings of a man who's realized he's not a boy. I'm telling my sister, oh, I'm a boy. I'm just a boy. I don't even remember what I said, but I said, oh, I'm a boy. My sister said, you're not a boy. Why would you say that? I'm like, she said, would you classify your... Caden is a boy. Caden. I love my nephew, Caden. Shout out to Caden. Shout out to Winter. I do it for you guys. This is a crazy story. This is a crazy story to throw their names in. But I got them. I got my family during that time. I got my nephews, my niece, my nephew during that time when I couldn't dream. So when I dream and I tell you I stand for all. I stand for them. I stand for... I stand. I stand and I stand and I stand. And you know what I stand for? Do you know who I embody? What I represent? When I feel the weight of the world on my shoulders, so I stand tall. And I tell you, when I lie down because I slumber. I don't nap. I don't rest. I hibernate. The energy and the power that I need to accomplish what I must, I do everything in my power. I do everything in my power to try to be better than the person I was yesterday, to be better. And I know every day that I am better than the person I was 2 years ago when I had nothing. I had it all and I lost it and I regained it, and I can guarantee and I promise you, the only thing that separates me from the man that I is one thing. It's the mentality. It's unwavering. If you fake it and you make it, it was never fake. You had it the whole time. I practice purposeful speech. I practice choosing Chia. I practice listening to the universe and answering the call. I say, bless the heavens and bless hell and everything in between. Without heaven, there can't be hell, and without hell, there can't be heaven. Every day is as joyous as you want it to be. It's as sweet as you want it to be, and I'm greedy. I realize what it's like to lose it all, so I'm greedy. I'm taking it all. I'm taking everything. I'm taking it all. I'm greedy. I have a sweet tooth. If life is as sweet as you want it to be, I'm going to catch diabetes. If life is as sweet as you want it to be, I'll be the first one to tell you here I'll catch diabetes with pride, grace, and humility. This has been a Trey U's Adventures. Thank you for another day.